Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the Football Stooges, the stupidest way to cover football week by week on a YouTube show.
And boys, it's stupid.
Very stupid. We had some great UFL games this week. We're going to cover all of them. We have...
three of them are good. One wasn't.
I would say 75% games being good. I'll take that over being good.
Yeah. But again, there was also...
I will say that.
So we'll talk about that. But UFL's looking great. Stuff's going well for all teams with mine. So lots to talk about there. We already talked about the draft last week, so there's a couple different aspects of news we'll talk about in the NFL. But as always, we have that in the UFL to talk about. But
we're gonna talk about the Pope draft as well. Don't forget.
Exactly. I cannot do this myself, so as always,
Cardinal pick is
I need my compatriots in Stoogery here. So as always, my right-hand man here for 99.9% of all episodes and still painting minis. It's Macedon.
Getting them done. It's just there's a lot of details for some of this shit. For some reason, Chaos Marauders has details.
Chaos Trim.
He's legitimately not stopped painting for like a month straight.
No, it's true. Chaos Trim.
Nerd.
The metal is fucked. That's all I have to say.
Curse upon you, paint a Helldrake. Curse upon you, paint a Helldrake. Million of Chaos Trim.
Oh, that would actually be a pretty cool one to do. But
you say that, but then you start doing all the little weaves in the lines and all that trim. You're like,
yeah, well, yeah, but this is because I did a Valkyrie.
Okay.
Painted noise marine like this.
Next up, back in studio, Ned Flanders.
In studio.
You should go with Mamba. Why am I getting introduced now? I had a whole thing planned out. It's been 2 weeks since I've had one of these. So you know what? I'm just gonna crack it open, get a
Johnny Bravo haircut.
That's old.
There it goes.
Noise marine. There's an old noise marine right there, Kidduff.
I've missed it so much.
Right.
Sorry, what's been happening with my stallions? I've been so busy with track, I haven't even been watching.
Next up,
do we suck?
KDuff doing an interpretive poem real quick for Boston's situation in the NBA playoffs.
I'd rather talk about how that Chicago has had its first Pope drafted since before the Bears have had their first quarterback to throw for 4,000 yards.
Shut up.
That was just me giving you an opportunity just to scream your lungs out right there. But anyway.
Yeah, I would, but
apathy. It's apathy for Boston right now.
Hold on. Why are we so out of tune right now?
Well, we're not out of tune. If you haven't heard, a new pope has been selected, and His Holiness is from the great land of Chicago. So let me introduce to you Pope Mombus the First.
It's coming home, boys! It's coming home! Thank you. Pope Mamba, first Chicagoan Pope here, all right?
Our first Pope of Indian descent. My goodness.
First thing first, we're replacing the wine with Malort, okay? Everyone's gonna be served Illuminati's deep dish pizza, like, you know. No more ketchup, all right? No more ketchup on hot dogs.
You go fuck yourself.
You go away. You don't say fuck you to the Pope, all right? Don't say fuck you to the Pope.
I'm paying.
Are you gonna call the Ninth Crusade on O Block?
No. Oh God!
No,
we're about to start another crusade on the south side of Chicago. Oh, also, the Pope is a Sox fan. The fuck is all that about?
I've heard Sox and Cubs. I don't know if we'll ever get a true ruling.
Okay,
so.
If he's a Sox fan, he might be the Antichrist. Okay, no sane person is a fucking Sox fan.
He might be the Antichrist.
Okay. I'm just saying.
That is high blasphemy. But anyway, good to have you back, Mamba.
Thank you.
Yeah, welcome to it.
That was
I like
perfect,
the ad.
By the way.
I love the Chelsea ad into that. It's the greatest Chicagoan thing. But yes, believe it or not, the first American Pope was elected, and it is. Yeah. They're from Chicago. So again, Chicago can produce a pope for the first time in human history from the great land of America.
Not a quarterback, though.
But goodness, the best quarterback you got is Jay Cutler or Vince McMahon. Or not McMahon.
Jay Cutler
not Vince McMahon. Who's the other best quarterback in history was the one in '85 who was literally blind in one eye. Like, that's how bad quarterbacks from Chicago have been.
That's McMahon.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember his first name though.
We've been cursed.
Also, people are saying that this is now destined that the New York Knicks are winning the NBA Finals because the New York Knicks have multiple players on that team from Villanova.
Oh,
Josh
Villanova,
Hart,
yeah.
Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges. They used to have Dante DiVincenzo, but they traded him for the Bodega Cat.
I see the problem. My Cash App payment to the refs in the NBA playoffs just hasn't gone through yet. That'll fix itself.
But the
wild
Pope did go to Villanova, which is really
you know, be wild.
Did
Imagine
you try paying them in like Monster Energy drinks?
Imagine being in Villanova and like your classmates are friends with the fucking Pope now. Like,
screw that. Imagine like randomly selected freshman roommates. Your roommate was the Pope. This is the first Pope in history that probably had a shot of Malort.
Oh yeah.
This is the first Pope in history that probably went to a Wawa. This is the first Pope in history. This honestly might be the first Pope in history that went to Wrigley Field. Like honestly,
the first Pope in history that watched Shameless, and that's literally my life growing up.
I would not be surprised if a Portillo's opens up in the Vatican.
No, I if somebody serves now, a lot of Chicagoan food is great. The dog's amazing. The sandwiches, like you got your like cheesesteak styled stuff and
Italian
like that.
Beef.
Yeah,
cheeseburger.
Those are amazing. Okay, if you go to Italy, especially near the capital, and you serve deep dish, you are going to be shipped to Sicily and skinned alive. Don't do that. They're going to treat your ass like Mussolini. You know what happened to him? Hung upside down, beaten to death, and pissed on. All right? They don't
and
around.
Naked corpse.
Yes. Don't do that. If you want to die, give an Italian a deep dish. All right? One way to go. All right.
If you also want to die, put ketchup on your hot dog in Chicago.
Okay. Anyway, before this gets any more stupid than it already is, we're going to go ahead and get into our crossover grid. We'll do that, and then we'll immediately talk about... we'll have do KF News, obviously, then we'll immediately start talking about the UFL. So, here we go. Crossover grid. Two amazing franchises.
Hold on. Do you want to do Frank Gore for 1,000-yard rush in San Fran or 10-plus seasons in San Fran?
What if we just don't do Frank Gore at all? What if we just say fuck Frank Gore? We don't do Frank Gore at all.
What you got against Frank Gore, dude?
Everything. No, I don't know.
I got one for I got Cowboys and 1,000-yard rusher DeMarco Murray. Rusher, not reception. You did it.
That's
you
reception.
Did it reception.
DeMarco Murray.
How about
Cool.
T.O.
for
for
2
the
weeks and
Cowboys?
loves
Wait, hold on.
Use a keyboard and mouse.
T.O.
You're 12. Shut up.
Oh wow, Miles Austin. That's a name.
In the Eagles. What?
I don't know. 10 plus NFL seasons.
Larry Allen.
Deion fucking Sanders.
Hey, when did Miles Austin get?
1994 to 2000. Really? Was it? It was 13 years.
Yeah,
I guess.
Do it.
Yep.
The math does math there.
Math does math. All right, 1,000-yard rushing season for the Niners. We could do Christian McCaffrey.
Just do Frank Gore on the.
It could be Frank Gore, but also there's
I'm thinking that Steve Young.
Steve Young ever do
it? Ooh, I don't know.
I don't even know for like that period of.
There's two Steve Youngs.
Yeah, because
no, he wouldn't have. I mean, he didn't run a ton downfield. He was like kind of like a Russell Wilson, just like scrambled around the pocket, like slippery, like a greased pig. There's not been a crazy amount of really good San Francisco running backs that jump off the page besides recently.
You do just either Gore or CMC, and we can see. And I think I have like one or two
Gore and
others.
CMC, fuck it.
Frank Gore.
Okay.
And then 1,000
you should have done
receiving.
Frank Gore for the 10. Shit.
Well, we can say
10 plus NFL seasons. We could easily do like Ronnie Lott.
Yeah,
Lott can work here. And for receiving, I mean, the easy one to say is Jerry Rice. So
there's Jerry Rice. We could also do Terrell Owens.
He was Sam.
Out of left field.
Did Devo have one? Or I keep forgetting Randy Moss was a Niner at one point.
Yeah.
Okay, a first-round pick that had a 1,000-yard rushing season.
I'm still thinking like Browns and
he was thinking harder with how to click it.
Cowboys and
first-round pick that had a 1,000-yard receiving season.
Julio Jones.
Collinsworth.
I don't think it was a first-round pick.
Julio Jones worked. Lynn Swan, yeah.
Fuck, it was the first-round pick?
Yeah.
How was it a
Julio Jones then?
Ocho Cinco?
And then a first-round pick that played a long time.
I
was going to immediately go Morton Henderson, but no.
AJ Hawk. AJ Hawk.
AJ Hawk is not. Wait, AJ Hawk isn't a first-round pick, was he?
Yes, he was.
Was he?
Yeah.
Did he play that long? I thought he was like 7
He played for a while.
It says 10 exact seasons. There we go.
Yeah.
I told you, dude.
Yeah.
First round.
I thought he had less years. I just thought he had less years.
Ezekiel Elliott was the top listed one for a 1,000-yard rushing season for the
because he was
Cowboys.
recent.
Yeah.
He was a 5th overall pick in the 2006 draft. Well, I never would have guessed that.
Yeah. AJ Hawk. Wow. And he's in his Bengals uniform. Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Is he a linebacker? I'm trying to remember.
He was.
Yeah. AJ Hawk is the leading tackler all time for the Green Bay Packers. AJ Hawk. So.
And now he's on the Pat McAfee show.
Yeah. All right. Now that that's done, let's go ahead and get into KDF News.
Next in its tier list.
But I missed it. Did we already see what it was, or?
No, I didn't see.
Okay. All right. Thank God. All right. So starting out with some injury news. Going with the UFL, out for the year. Renegades running back Kalen Ballage will not be finishing the season due to a shoulder injury. Shorter to long-term stuff. Showboat's cornerback Darius Phillips is going to be out at least this week with a quad injury, and Brahma's offensive tackle Zuri Henry, among a lot others, is also going to be out because of his knee injury. Included that is Matthew Sexton with a hamstring injury, defensive end Kavion Patton with a neck injury, wide receiver Greg Ward Jr. with an abdomen issue. And doubtful. And sorry, I'm just going off what I'm reading here. Darius Phillips also due. I had that for Showboats. What the fuck? I'm all over the place here with some of this stuff. Read this off their actual practice injury report here. Let's see. Other questionables I've got Brahmas running back Anthony McFarland Jr. with a shoulder injury. Wide receiver Jake Harris with a foot injury. Defenders cornerback Bryce Thompson with a hamstring issue. Panthers defensive end Mike Tafua with a knee injury. Roughnecks running back Kirk Merrick with a hamstring issue. Stallions quarterback Case Cookus with a knee injury. And Battlehawks wide receivers Jacob Pearson with a hip and Hakeem Butler due to illness. Other than that, we might already have our first out for the year for the NFL. Carolina Panthers running back Jonathan Brooks. He's most likely out for the season after he's been put on the PUP list as he's still recovering from an ACL tear he suffered week 14 of last year. Going on to trades, releases, retirements, holdouts. A couple signings for teams looking to reload before the playoffs for the UFL. A couple of notable names. The Panthers are signing NIU quarterback Rocky Lombardi. The Defenders are signing former Chicago Bears linebacker Micah Baskerville, and the Renegades are signing former Saints running back Tony Jones Jr. should be their Ballage replacement. As for still some free agency stuff to go to, a couple interesting moves were made. First off, we go to the Ravens, who signed former Rams offensive tackle Joe Noteboom, and also released longtime kicker Justin Tucker. It's been said that it's because of football issues and not because of the 18 allegations of misconduct he's facing for some Deshaun Watson level stuff. But which I kind of figured he'd be released at some point. His accuracy is seemed to just drop off a cliff over the past year and change.
if you remove all the stuff off the field that he's done, I don't think you would any team would cut him because of how good he has been, unless this season upcoming was bad. But because of that off the field stuff, that's the reason he got cut, and it's deserved in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, what was it? The year the Bengals made the Super Bowl, Crosby was having a bad year. Like him and McPherson went like toe for toe, missing field goals left and right, and we still never got rid of Crosby.
And McPherson got us to the Super Bowl in like a 50-plus yarder to win the game against the Titans.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, let's see. Going on down to the Panthers. They're releasing a guy who I still keep forgetting is still in the league. Defensive end Jadeveon Clowney. Going down to the Cowboys. Interesting trade made. They've acquired former Steelers wide receiver and current Diva of the Year for Pittsburgh, wide receiver George Pickens, and a 6th-round pick, and a trade for a 3rd and a 5th-round pick. So, which just begs the question: who else is in the Steelers wide receiver room besides DK Metcalf right now? Because they didn't draft a new one.
Roman
Wilson. Oh yeah, they did have Roman Wilson,
who's didn't play that much because of injury. So
yeah, I'm trying to think like who else they have, and I'm trying to think like what of any of them would be a good like wide receiver too. Because I mean, it's not going to be. I don't think Robert Woods is going to have like a career year.
Pat motherfucking Fryermuth.
That's a tight end, like strictly wide receiver. Is what I'm getting at here.
Well, I mean, yeah, Brady threw to Gronk first.
That's a fair point. Yeah.
What's funny though? Chase Claypool got more trade value than
that is
George
true.
Pickens.
Actually,
that's nuts. What?
Yeah, you gave up a 2nd-round pick for.
Yeah,
Chase
you gave up
Claypool,
a 2nd for Chase.
It's another thing. Just if this is a commonality for the Steelers, trading a wide receiver before they go rogue. Antonio Brown, Chase Claypool, and now George Pickens.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, he was having like so many meltdowns on the sideline this past season.
Again, George Pickens is going from no one going to be able to throw him the ball to no one going to be able to throw him the ball, but at 4:25 p.m. Eastern on Fox.
Yeah, well, I mean, they still have an option because. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Masson.
I was actually about to say, so either Pickens going to have a career year, or the locker room's going to implode because of him.
Or they're just going to bring in Alan Lazard to try and just sweeten the deal even more for Aaron Rodgers to come there, which he still hasn't signed there. Just rip the fucking band off. Are you going there or are you not, Aaron? Anyway, yeah. So there is also another option. There is another option as we go down to the Jaguars after they released wide receiver Gabe Davis, not even 12 months after signing a 3-year, $39 million deal. He only played in 10 games and had less than 250 receiving yards in Jacksonville. But all that isn't exactly his fault, considering their offense basically drove itself off a cliff after the Trevor Lawrence injury. That just feels like just bad organizational management to be signing him to that deal and then releasing him a year later.
Duval.
I don't feel like he's old enough if you're going to try to do a rebuild to get rid of him. But at the same time, that's getting rid of him so quickly. Like, he wasn't even on a 1-year deal. If you're going to bring him on and you're going to try to give him like a test run, give him a test run deal. You didn't give him that test run deal. At least play it another year of it and see how bad it is. Now you're going to take an even higher hit cap. Gabe Davis isn't bad. If you have more options to throw the ball to with Travis Hunter there as well, and Gabe Davis, and also Calvin Ridley, might as well keep him if you're paying him instead of taking the dead cap hit.
The rookie that they had last year.
So if Gabe Davis bumps back on the depth chart because you want to have other guys start, fine. If someone gets hurt, then you have Gabe Davis off the bench. Like, I don't understand this the front office here. Like, this was baffling.
It's Jacksonville. Is there anything understanding that they've done in the past, I don't know, 5-ish years?
Duval.
Trent Baalke just drafting a new running back like every other round. It's fucking baffling sometimes. Anyway, speaking of draft, not many like first round picks have signed their deals yet. So the only notable one I can put out now is for the Chiefs. Their rookie offensive tackle Josh Simmons got his fully guaranteed rookie contract, 4 years, $14.6 million. The Rams are signing former Eagles wide receiver and punt returner Britton Covey on a 1-year deal. Dolphins are releasing longtime long snapper Blake Ferguson. The Eagles have restructured tight end Dallas Goedert's deal. He will make $10 million this season as opposed to 14. And the Seahawks are bringing back defensive tackle Jonathan Hankins for at least one more year. This will be his 13th season with Seattle. Other than that, other news around the leagues, UFL has officially signed a CBA that will run through to the 2026 season. So finally, only halfway through the season, 8 years in the league, and players have come to an agreement on that. We also got some. Yep. So also, you might get a little bit more of a luck charm this week if you're a Browns fan. Apparently, former head coach Wade Phillips is going to be in attendance. He's not going to be on the coaching squad, but apparently he's going to be appearing after he took a leave of absence for health reasons. The Rams will be the first team to be holding their minicamp outside of the continental United States. They've announced that they will be the first team to be hosting their minicamp this year in the Hawaiian island of Maui. And the NFL has also announced at a speech that included Commissioner Roger Goodell, Commanders owner Josh Harris, and President Donald Trump at the White House that the 2027 NFL Draft will be held at Washington, D.C.'s National Mall, and are expecting at least a 1 million person turnout, which would be the most ever for an NFL Draft. I think the record was very close when Detroit last year had about 750,000.
Wow.
Yeah. And finally, just because it's the start of graduation season, just a couple congrats to a couple guys that are graduating there on teams, including Jaguars rookie Travis Hunter out of Colorado and Chiefs running back Isaiah Pacheco out of Rutgers. That's all I got because that's the only two I could find that are actually graduating this year.
Shout out. Thank you, Kadef, for that right there. The news, as always. Alrighty, let's get into it. We're going to start out with a very good game. The Arlington Renegades and the St. Louis Battlehawks starting us out on the week's end slate. Again, I kind of like how the UFL does this. You got a Friday night game, you got 2 Saturday games, or 1 Saturday game, and then 2 Sunday games, or 1 Sunday game. I mean,
yeah, they switch Saturday and Sunday depending on NHL playoffs and NBA playoffs.
They spread it out, and they have also other sports to compete with. But at the same time, it's nice not to have like overlapping games and a ton of back-to-back. Sometimes it's nice to get a little dose of football, a little micro dose. But schedule's working well. This was a really interesting game. It was a pretty kind of like a slumping Arlington Renegades team, if you get what I'm saying here. They're kind of going through a bit of a slump at the current moment. But they do have a very loaded team, in my opinion. They have a very talented offense, been together a while. So they come in and actually drop a 6-point loss against the Battlehawks, who are still without their starting quarterback in the beginning of the season. They are now down to Max Duggan, former TCU champion Max Duggan.
Who was somehow able to get a good amount of production out of Quentin Johnston. I couldn't remember his name for a second.
Yeah. So we'll start with the Renegade side of stats. Luis Perez went 16 for 23 for 145, no touchdowns, 1 pick, a 69% completion percentage. Nice. And a 68.2 rating. Rushing, Dede Hunters 13 for 47, Kalen Ballage 9 for 30, Luis Perez 2 for 3. Receiving, Dede Hunter 5 for 41, Devonta Payton 3 for 40, Deontay Burnett 2 for 27, Isaiah Winston 2 for 14, and Saul Canelo 2 for 13. Then moving on to the Battlehawks, Max Duggan 7 for 19 for 93 yards, 1 touchdown, no pick, a 36.8 completion percentage, and a 70.7 rating. The completion percentage isn't great. However, he also ran 10 times for 49 yards. Jacob Saylors ran 14 times for 57 yards. And then Blake Jackson, 3 for 31. Akeem Butler, 1 for 30 and a touchdown. Frank Darby, 1 for 16 for receiving. Johor Pearson, 1 for 11. And Danzel Mims, 1 for 5. Looking back at this game, it was kind of, in my opinion, very reminiscent of what we imagined the Packers were going to go through when they lost Jordan Love at the end of the first Week 1 game. But then Matt LaFleur came out and drew up a whole new style of offense that revolved around the athleticism of Malik Willis. And this offense now for the Battlehawks is seeming to revolve a lot more around the athletic ability of Max Duggan. At the same time, though, early on, as we can see here, they were trying to give Max Duggan some traditional quarterback looks, but Duggan doesn't have the same pocket presence as a lot of more experienced guys. Doesn't look as comfortable in the pocket. Again, when he's at TCU, he was running a lot more plays that run athleticism, some bootlegs and stuff like that. Might not be used to the NFL or UFL level of speed as far as like how the game progresses, but at the same time, he can do stuff like that. Get down the field, move quickly, get to the right spot. He's an incredibly tough guy, and at the very end of the day, he's not going to be like a deer in the headlights all the time. He's going to compete and give his all. So he does a great job being able to win the game with the offense they put in and being able to just get it done when it needed to get done. It definitely was a rough transition for him, I think.
The defense did more work.
It did, yes. The St. Louis Battlehawks defense showed up big time. But at the same time, this definitely shows the tough transition that a lot of really just pure athletic guys from the UFL or from the college football that transition into professional football, some of the struggles that they can have. But again, absolute dotty through there to Hakeem Butler. It's a great pass there. For Arlington Renegades, it just seemed like nothing could get going. Couldn't run the ball well, only 82 total rushing yards on 25 attempts. And passing, a 70% completion percentage is not horrible for Perez, but at the same time, no touchdowns and a pick. Yikes. Couldn't punch in when it mattered most. Yeah, I think was there even a touchdown?
I don't know.
I don't think so, yeah.
I think Arlington had a touchdown. I think it was all field goals.
Yeah.
You can look since you have the stats.
Touchdowns, yeah. It doesn't just show defensive. Yeah. It looks like 2 field goals. Yeah. Yep, field goals. So didn't even get the ball in the end zone. Not offensively, not even defensively. So not good for a Renegades team that seemed to have a decent offense, and now they're on a slide. They're now 3-3, while the Battlehawks are proved 4-2. Especially good for the Battlehawks to stay alive. I don't think. Did we ever get a report, K-Duff, on the injury status of their original quarterback?
Oh, Manny Wilkins?
Yeah, Manny Wilkins.
I know he's out for the year. Let me see if there's any update on that.
I remember when we were watching the film last week. To me, it looked very similar to Rogers' injury, where you saw like the heel go from being above the ground.
Yeah.
Achilles just popped and went.
Let's see if there's anything on news for him. Carted off. Nah, nothing since 3 weeks ago, though. But usually when I see a headline that says carted off in an air cast, that does not really bode well for a miraculous return at the end of the season.
So it looks like they're going to be dugging it out, pun intended, for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
So the thing that really needs to improve is you just got to give Max Duggan a better sense of when to get rid of the ball and a little bit more time in the pocket, because it doesn't seem like he seems that comfortable when there's a lot of pressure. So that's something that definitely has got to be stuff that's to work on. And then for the Renegades, you just really need to be more consistent. Consistent was really, consistency is a rough thing here. Also, oh my god,
that's an Eli Manning face. That's an Eli Manning face if I ever seen one.
That's that's a what the fuck. Oh man, that's rough. Oh man,
that's an Eli Manning face.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, like, just get rid of, like, the amount of times I've seen Max Duggan just not get rid of the football, which again, you don't want him to throw interceptions, but at the same time, it's just like, dude, throw the ball away. Like, there's like 8 defenders coming in. The pressure from college to NFL, as far as like blitzing pressure, is so different to handle and takes time to get used to, but like, eventually, you just got to get rid of the football. No more beating around the bush. But final score 6-12. Battlehawks get the win at home. All right, we will move on, and ladies and gentlemen, yeah, it's not over, but at the same time, clap it up for the Dresser win saga of one really good game, and also had another really good game, but couldn't get the win. 20-21, the final score. The Showboats trying to make a comeback late in the fourth, weren't able to get it done. Dresser went 22 for 34 for 207 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick, a 64.7% completion percentage, and a 78.9 rating. Great day. 1 pick, the only blemish on that record, honestly. Rushing, West Hills, 13 for 47. Dresser win, 3 for 16 and a touchdown. Jonathan Adams, 1 for 14, and Dedrick Prince, 7 for 6. Receiving, D. Anderson, 5 for 47. Dedrick Prince, 4 for 38. Kwame Lassard, a second, 3 for 29. West Hills, 3 for 28. Jonathan Adams, 2 for 25. Kai Locksley, 1 for 23. Isaiah Washington, 2 for 18. To the Roughnecks, Jalen McClendon, 20 for 28 for 149. 1 touchdown, no picks, a 71.4 completion percentage, and a 95.8 rating. For rushing, Zondre Wilkins, 13 for 50. Kirk Merritt, 4 for 9. Jalen McClendon, 5 for 4. Receiving, Justin Hall, 6 for 38 and a touchdown. Kirk Merritt, 1 for 37. Kiki Chisholm, 5 for 32. Sharjay White, 4 for 16. Lorenzo Lingard, 2 for 11. And Josh Peterson, 1 for 9. It was I was really rooting for the Showboats here. It was awesome to see a first-time UFL starter in Dresser win, just cook in his first game, and almost won another game here, but came up a single point short against a decent Roughnecks team who improved to 3-3. Showboats now fall to 1-5. But again, this isn't a Dresser win. 22 for 34 for 207 with 1 touchdown and only 1 pick. Not
was
bad.
That
was blocked.
Was terrible.
It was tipped. It was tipped.
Was it? Yeah, I was about to say, was it like tipped or shanked or something?
Looks like it was.
What is that tattoo?
Yep, tipped right there.
Yeah, he got a couple fingers on it.
I think what kind of killed Memphis was when Houston got that sack fumble for a touchdown.
Yeah, I remember seeing some highlights of that. Where was that?
It was in the fourth quarter. It was near the end, not the end of the game, but it was definitely fourth quarter, if I remember right. Because I think it was.
Yeah.
It was actually a really good blitz package that Houston set up.
Here we go. You're rushing what looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're rushing 5, but you're making them wide, so this center's going to really get out. But then they blitz 1 on the inside, try to fool the center. They get 1 coming clean off the edge on the, not blind side, but definitely a harsh angle. Dresser can't see it. Head, helmet on the football. Pops free, picked up, and not by a DT, so at least he can kind of move here. And that is a defensive touchdown in the fourth that puts them up 19-14. That is a huge swing, especially when Memphis was driving and up in the third.
That's
2 minutes.
That was Israel left. Antwine on the pickup there. Yeah, one of their linebackers.
Amazing head placement.
Oh no, he was a DT. Excuse me, that was a DT.
Really?
Yeah.
Lighter DT. Lighter DT. Yeah, I'm used to seeing like Vince Wilfork, BJ Raji types. This is a Carlos Dunlap.
Or that 400-pound kid that just got drafted to the Bucks.
Oh my, yeah, that. Or well, undrafted.
It's not everyone had to be. It's not everyone that had to be built like Viscera from the WWE.
God.
Yeah.
Good God.
Golly.
Wombo combo.
Yes.
That ain't Falco. But yeah, rough to see Dresser win, not follow up on the really good performance, or the win with another win, but still have a good performance, honestly. Again, that fumble for a touchdown there, I don't think was really his fault. That was a great blitz package and just a tough blitz pickup for the O-line. It would have been great to have a running back in kind of like last-ditch attempt for blocking there. But at the same time, this was a great game. 20-21, the final score. Memphis, as you can see here, late in the fourth, mid in the fourth, 11 seconds left, getting deep into the Houston's side of the field with a great punt return, but again, they have to settle for a field goal here, and they just can't make it up. The final score being 20 to 21 in Houston's favor. But again, I like Dresser Wynn. He's comfortable in the pocket. He makes good decisions, throws a good football. The guy looks like just a consummate professional there in the backfield. Doesn't do anything super flashy or super well, but he goes in, gets the job done, and does it well. I think if he was the starting quarterback from the first week on, Memphis might have 2 wins instead of just 1. So, but yeah, it's rough. Houston's offense did a lot better job than they usually do, even though if they didn't run the ball well. But again, their defense did help out a great job. So 20 to 21, the final score. Houston gets the victory. And yeah.
This was game of the year. Is there game of the year or at least game of the week?
Yes, this was an amazing game. DC and Michigan. And let me just say, I have not seen many people make football edits for UFL players, but excuse me.
Bless.
I now stand corrected.
Start to move in the pocket like that. You're stiff arming a guy to the ground earlier. You're spinning out of stuff. What's even going through your brain right there?
I mean,
Oh shit. Okay.
Wow.
Wait, what?
I am struggling to come up with an NFL comp for Bryce Perkins because, like, he's got
that scramble makes me think Patrick Mahomes. But
Yo, RG3 looking ass. Yo, let's go.
on the move.
What?
Throwing dimes.
Like, stepped up in the pocket.
Where did this
just
kid
starts
come from,
running.
yo?
He's UVA was his last year, if I remember right. But
And he's also got a.
didn't-
He just broke up a DT.
It was, if I remember right, he had to miss a couple years in college because of a neck injury. If I remember right.
Let me see here.
I'm actually looking it up. He went
Arizona
to UVA in
State,
20
Arizona Western, and Virginia. Went undrafted in 2020.
Here's the thing I struggle with is that he's got this sneaky elusiveness, but also the amount of times I've seen him absolutely like dribble someone with a stiff arm.
Yeah, like he missed 2016 due to a broken neck.
He actually got a Super Bowl ring because he was elevated to the roster in 2021 with the Rams.
He has a ring?
He does.
Yeah,
What
apparently
the fuck?
If you're on the active
he was
roster,
a-
you are.
Yeah.
Bro is just balling out in the UFL with a fucking Super Bowl ring. Like, what the fuck?
I mean, it wouldn't be the first time.
And he's probably
I'm pretty sure they had other players that played in Super Bowl
this
in
rate.
the UFL.
It's gonna be him to win the after that performance and that highlight reel, dude. It's gonna be him for MVP in my opinion. It's his to lose.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, and of course it had to happen to my defenders.
I'm struggling to give an NFL comp because he seems to be as quick and as elusive as like a Michael Vick, right? He can throw in the run as well as Steve Young, but at the same time, when he's running down the field and he's actually gaining yards, he doesn't tend to slide a ton. He actually tries to break tackles, and he's not just juking to break tackles. This guy dribbles people.
Yeah, he's scrambling a bit, so he's got a little bit of like super cam Mahomes. He's like almost every like mobile modern quarterback rolled into one package. It seems like.
Yeah, and I mean, like, he's jumping off the page to me. Obviously, it's a quarterback position, so you're getting a lot of, press at that area and a lot of, microscope camera time. But at the same time, like, throwing dimes, great pocket presence, can scramble down the field, slippery as a greased pig, and he's got, like, grown man dad strength. This dude is stiff-arming defensive tackles and dribbling them, all right? Like, this is some, like, the arms of Derrick Henry, but the movement of Michael Vick and the pocket presence of Peyton Manning. Obviously,
I know.
Some of you might be saying I'm working at Krispy Kreme right now and there's some glazing going on, but at the same time, watch the highlights, all right? Watch the highlights. This guy is nuts. Like,
I'm watching them. I wish.
You gotta understand that there were teams, there were coaches that were playing EJ Perry above this guy.
Yeah.
All right? And this guy's looking out here like some Madden creator character, all right? Like, how many quarterbacks have you seen that can stiff arm someone into the dirt and still can throw a decently accurate pass? Looking at you, Anthony Richardson.
Bears should pick him up as a backup quarterback. Be nice.
Yeah.
That's not a bad. That's
We
not
already
a bad
worry
idea.
about
bad
Caleb.
idea. Bro, if he gets hurt, we get the Mr. Dribbler over here.
That's true. That's true.
Again,
And then he
you have to
steals
see how
Caleb
much.
Williams' spot, and you're back where one.
Now again, the best defensive tackle in the best defensive tackle in the UFL and the best defensive tackle in the NFL are going to be vastly different in sign of strength, size, weight.
Yeah.
I would love to have seen, like, I would really love it if just like one NFL, like, veteran came in and decided to play, like Aaron Donald. Like what would Aaron Donald do in this?
Jordan Davis.
Well, no, but like even Aaron Donald, who's like retired, who is still in like prime physical condition from like what most people can tell, I would assume. Like if he were to go in and play a season, like what would the destructive power of just, the best defensive tackle in NFL history do in this league? Now again, these guys are still professionals and these are still better than a lot of college guys out there. But again, there's also a reason a lot of them sadly aren't in the NFL because some of them haven't been given the time. Some of them just didn't get used to the game speed as quick enough. But again, they're being a second chance to try to get into the NFL here. But there is still a disparity. Thank you, between the NFL and the UFL. But like, dude.
Yeah, just breaking tackles and actually throwing it to an open receiver.
Damn, that's nuts.
Boom,
and he still has like his eyes up to see his tight end.
Yeah, gosh.
That's crazy.
Looks downfield.
Yeah, you swag out, brother.
He like when UVA played Tech, like that was the best player for UVA was him.
Look at this. So it looks like they're bringing a blitz on the defensive right, offensive left. So they're rushing 4 plus the 5th one coming in there. Great job by him.
Wide open.
Yeah, the gap's wide open because they're doing. Well, it's a delayed blitz because they're doing a stunt with 2 defensive tackles in order to pull the center's eyes over so that this happens. There is a barn door wide open blitz here, and Perkins just goes, nah, I'm going to shrug off 3 tackles, stiff arm that guy, almost fall over, throw a dot, and it's a touchdown. Like, as a defense, what the fuck do you what are you going to do there? You're just like, yeah, that play worked perfectly, and he just did it. Like the arm talent, the strength, the core stability to be able to do. Oh my gosh! At the UFL level too, it's amazing. 14-38 the final score. Michigan stuns DC at home. At Michigan's home, I should say. We'll start with DC. Tomu 19 for 36 for 259 and 2 touchdowns, no picks, at 52.8% completion percentage and 94.6 rating. Good day from him. The completion percentage was a little lower than usual for him, but still not bad. No picks. Rushing. Deion Jackson, 10 for 47, Tomu, 5 for 17, and Abram Smith, 5 for 11. Receiving, Chris Rowland. This will jump off the page. Chris Rowland, number 12, 9 receptions, 144 yards, and 1 touchdown for the defenders. He had 144. There are 259 receiving yards. Javion Antonio, 2 for 35. Braylon Sanders, 3 for 31 and a touchdown. Jaden Mickens, 3 for 26. And Brendan Bershon 1 for 23. Before we go over to the Michigan Panthers stats here, on this play, if you haven't heard from the UFL, there was a mic'd up session that Perkins had here. Again, shrugging off tackles. But when he gets tackled here, on the ground, and he lays there for a minute, and he's mic'd up, and 17 is standing over him going, are you all right? Are you all right? And Perkins just goes, hey, give me a second. I got hit in the nuts. It's pretty funny.
Wait, where?
I believe it's on.
Nuts.
I think it was somebody's hand. I think.
Oh.
Yeah, and then also
he's not on purpose, but it's just and it popped up.
No, again, when people are reaching for the balls, not a ton of players try to go for people's nuts unless your name is, Ndamukong Suh or
Albert Hainsworth
or Romanowski, so there's a few guys that do, but again, generally it hopefully doesn't happen a ton. But the Michigan Panthers side of stats: Bryce Perkins 13 for 18 for 188, 2 touchdowns, no picks, a 72.2% completion percentage, and a 142.8 quarterback rating. I believe, if I remember correctly, 150 is considered perfect, if I'm not mistaken.
Somewhere around there.
I'll just say this right now. I haven't seen a 142 in the UFL yet. So I'm just going to say that. He also ran 9 times for...
perfect 18 for 18.
Bryce Perkins also ran 9 times for 76 yards and a touchdown. Other rushers, Toa Tua, 19 for 94 and a touchdown. Nate McRae, 9 for 44 and a touchdown. Receiving, Cole Hicatuni, 3 for 61 and a touchdown. Gunnar Oaks, 2 for 41. Melly Turner, 4 for 35 and 34 and a touchdown. Jalen Moore, 1 for 23. And Sosie Martin, 2 for 19, as well as Nate McRae, 1 for 8. So, when it came down to it, the offense, jeez, dude. Ah! Like, again, this game was like a Madden player. It was just like how? How many broken tackles is this? 1.
I wouldn't consider it a broken tackle because I think the one touchdown until so that's okay.
3.
I call it that 2, 3. Yeah.
Yeah. Just dog. Yeah. The Panthers' offense was amazing. They incorporate a lot of the movement and athleticism that Perkins has into a lot of different option plays. So they got a lot of rushing yards. They had 213 rushing yards. This game was, more or less, in my opinion, dominated by Bryce Perkins. Perkins had altogether about 150-60 total yards. Or sorry, 250-60 total yards.
Yeah, I'm about to say he had a lot more than 100.
See, like, this is like exactly what like you're just like, what are you gonna do? You get set up, you throw a blitz, and oh, okay, well, yep, and no tackle there, and spins out of 1, gets another yard or 2. So, but at the same time, they rushed for 213 yards, only passed for 188. That's more rushing than passing. But again, they set up the play action well. They can do read option very well. And there's so much opportunity and mobility to set up great plays for your great players to execute. And when you have a guy that is obviously as talented as Bryce Perkins and able to read a defense this well, went through a Sean McVay system, knows what he's doing, so much can happen. This guy can run the ball, strong too, can run an offense. This offense is able to use different rushers very well. And then Perkins also is what we've seen so far, a tremendous passer. And you can line up a read option RPO like that, which again, as a defense, you are like, again, there's an option for him to. There is a fake play action here as a reverse. Then you have a RPO here where you can either hand it off here because this guy's unblocked. So then you have more hats on hats here. So these middle linebackers got to come up. Then here comes the quarterback. You can pull the ball away. These guys are already now trying to struggle to get back. If he bites on the run, Perkins isn't running himself. And then if not, you got receivers in the flats, and he can throw an elite ball on the run. Boom. Even got tipped. Caught. Touchdown.
Yeah, got tipped.
Like, as a defense, like, you better have, like, witchcraft on your side. Keep your hands fooled. Like... Like, again, like, this was a well-executed game by the Panthers, and Bryce Perkins did an amazing job running the offense. For the defenders, I think the biggest thing was a lot of incompletions from Tamu. Even though a 52% completion percentage isn't bad, for Tamu, who's supposed to be, I would say, the best quarterback in the UFL, or second best, it's not as great as a performance you would want. 19 for 36 is a little rough. 17 incompletions. So you're a little over 50%. You need to get more on target there. And only 75 rushing yards, 17 of those from Tamu, is a little rough. So this Michigan Panthers defense really limited you to being one-sided, and it really just got out of hand pretty quick. But again, amazing game. Even if the score was a bit crazy, 38-14, the final one for Michigan, the Bryce Perkins show was incredible. It was absolutely incredible. What wasn't incredible is this last game we'll talk about, which was just...
This was a stop.
Oh, my goodness. Brahmas. Oh. It looked like the Brahmas were going to do well there. An amazing play early in the game. That was it. 3-26, the final score. The Birmingham Stallions... herded the Brahmas to the slaughter pen. It was bad. For the Brahmas, Kevin Hogan, 17 for 26 for 179, no touchdowns, 1 pick, a 65% completion percentage, and a 69.2 rating. Running the ball, our top rusher was Jashawn Corbin, 6 for 14. Anthony McFarland also went out in this game. Not great. 24 rushing yards on 13 attempts, an average of 1.8 yards per attempt. Receiving, Justin Smith had a great day, number 10, 5 for 108. Marcus Stevenson, 4 for 40, and Jashawn Corbin, 3 for 18. No one else had more than 9 yards receiving. For the Stallions, Case Cookus, 16 for 23 for 166 and 2 touchdowns, a 69.6% completion percentage, and a 119.1 rating. Great day for him. Rushing, Ricky Pearson Jr., 9 for 32 and a touchdown. CJ Marble, 14 for 27. And Case Cook is 4 for 16, as well as Andrew Peasley, 2 for 10. Receiving, Cade Johnson, 5 for 61. Amari Rogers, 3 for 55 and a touchdown. Deion Kane, 2 for 46. Marlon Williams, 3 for 37. Jay Sternberger, 2 for 15 and a touchdown. As well as Ricky Pearson, 2 for 10. Jordan Thomas, 1 for 8. Marcus Ball, 1 for 5. Jalen Camp, 1 for 4. And David Davis, 1 for 4. This was a smackdown. No way about it. The Brahmas defense couldn't hold a candle. Yeah, the Brahmas defense couldn't hold a candle to the Stallions. It was just a abysmal showcase. And they ran all over them. Passed all over him, couldn't stop a single thing, and couldn't get the offense going. There's not really any way to beat around the bush. The really good defense last year that was headed by Wade Phillips and a talented slew of defensive backs and defensive linemen has just vanished, and our powerful run game that that the Brahmas had last year has also seemed to just fizzle at thin air. So there's a lot of rebuilding this team's going to have to do. I don't think the playoffs are an option anymore, and it's starting to look like it's Memphis versus the Brahmas as far as worst teams in the UFL. Yeah. Not much else to say. Props to the Stallions for going in and just doing what needed to be done. So, getting the work done. Not underestimating or overestimating, just getting it done. Anybody have anything else for that?
Nope. Not really.
Nope.
All right.
Good win by the Stallions.
Yeah.
Looks like you're a Brahmas fan, eh, Lub?
I'm still a Brahmas fan. Ride or die. Got to go with it. All right. Before we go to our predictions for next week, let's take a look real quick at just the standings as we are so far. So, again, there's two conferences, the XFL conference, which is mainly old XFL teams, and the USFL conference, which is mainly old USFL teams. So, XFL conference, obviously, San Antonio is not eliminated, but it's not looking great. The Renegades are slipping. They were 3-1, now have lost 2 straight. They're at 3-3. The Battlehawks are 4-2. The Defenders are 4-2. I believe the reason that the Defenders are higher up is that they have a tiebreaker because they beat the Battlehawks. But again, only the top 2 teams from each conference will get in. They will play each other, and then they will go and play the other for the championship. I believe it's only a 2-round playoff. So.
Yes.
Yeah. So the bottom 2 teams aren't going to make it in. So Arlington's got to get it together. They totally can get up here. I especially think now that the Battlehawks are relying on a kind of at times rough looking Max Duggan. There's definitely some opportunity to make your way up. And again, the Renegades made it to the final last year, so like they can turn it on at the right time. There's some New York Giantsness about them. In the USFL Conference, Birmingham, again, at 4-2, leading the way. But right behind them, Michigan Panthers, 4-2 as well. And with the play of Bryce Perkins, Michigan could be bringing back a UFL championship. So you better watch out. Behind them, the Roughnecks are 3-3. I don't know how strongly. I believe that they're going to move up that well. I feel like they might remain in the middle of the pack. And then, sadly... there's only one win in the win column, and that was winning the game for the Showboats. I don't know how much they're going to be able to move up. They're not eliminated, but it is statistically improbable.
That ship is taking on water pretty badly.
Yeah. Lifeboats are being sent out. And also the cattle gun is being loaded, I guess. It's the best thing to say for the Brahmas. It's bad.
Eesh.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. But again, it looks like it's right now be Defenders and Battlehawks at DC, and then Birmingham and Michigan in Alabama. And then you would have the championship game, which I don't remember where it's at this year.
St. Louis.
It's going to be at St. Louis. Yeah.
So
discussed it last week.
Yeah. St. Louis. Okay. So yeah, that's how the standings are so far. We are 6 games into the season, and it is a 10-week season. So 3 more weeks. So it's gone by too fast, but at the same time, I've enjoyed all of it.
Yours?
So let's go ahead and look at the scores.
It's football, baby.
Yep. We're gonna go from bottom to top. So in last place, Gorlami 16-10 went 3-1 in week.
I've been gone for 2 weeks. That doesn't count.
Macedon 17-12. Then me 18-10. Mamba 21-8, and then K-Duff is still very impressive. 28.
Coming for you, K-Duff. Coming for you.
K-Duff has been the Nostradamus here.
I have no idea how.
I'm coming for that booty.
This is the first time in a while that I have seen the Brahmas not play on a Sunday late. So we'll start with that one. But this is in San Antonio, Texas. This will be on the 9th. So yeah, this is on a Friday, I believe. Yeah.
Friday game? Damn.
Yeah. Which means I think I put the wrong date on the. Yeah, I put the wrong date. That was today's date, not the date this is releasing. Whoops. Anyway,
we'll fix it later.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
We just live.
It's in San Antonio, Texas. So defenders, pretenders, or as Deshaun Watson would say, sex offenders. Brahmas by 5.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Because you said that, I'm going defenders by 7.
You were going to go defenders by 7 anyway. Don't say that I changed your mind. There's no way. No one's picking the Brahmas by
DC by 4.
God fucking damn it! I was gonna say that, you son of a bitch. DC by 5.
You can say DC by 4. You don't have to change because Matson said it.
Don't have to be unique all the time.
It has to be different.
This new generation always wanting to be different with your pink hair and your tutus.
Yeah, I'm different.
If everybody's different, then
and my morning woodies.
I was not going to acknowledge your shirt, Gorlami, but damn it.
Yeah. If everybody's different, nobody is different. Think you're special.
Exactly. Give me the my defenders by 9, please.
All right. Next up,
so
Saturday.
Hold on. If the draft is going to be in DC in 2027, K-Duff, are you going to go and start a beer snake?
I could probably, actually. That sounds fun.
I think you have to go and get a beer snake going.
I'll DM Jordan Teamu on Twitter, like, hey, beer snake 2027. You in?
You in? Hey, bro.
So
he's like, who is this and how did you get my number?
On Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern, Michigan Panthers are going to go against Arlington Renegades from Arlington, Texas. I'm taking Bryce Perkins in this one by 7.
Give me the Panthers by 10.
Michigan by 4.
Fuck. I don't know.
You don't know?
Fucking Panthers by 7? Throw a number out there. These nuts.
Your words, not mine. Give me Panthers by 10.
We got a funny guy over here.
We got a real hysterical man.
Houston Roughnecks and Birmingham Stallions at noon on Sunday, which is also Mother's Day. So make sure you
have to buy flowers for your mother's assholes.
What better way to honor your mother by watching some spring football?
Yeah, some spring football.
Handle business? That sounds a little sus.
What?
Why is your mind?
You are inferring.
You sounded a little. I'm saying. I didn't say.
I don't know. Buy your mother a nice flower.
Exactly. Yes. Thank you, Gorlami. Buy some nice flowers. You said she's feeling appreciated for raising your dumbass Mamba.
When people say, people in Chicago say the business. You know what they mean. All right.
All right.
I don't know what you mean.
Man gets a pope and he's all high and mighty now. You know. All right. Anyway. Roughnecks and Stallions.
Buy your mother.
Follow the Lord. Shut up. I'm going to take the Stallions by 3 in this one. Will be a little bit closer. I still don't like their offense being up and down, but at the same time, the Roughnecks don't look that great either. So Stallions by 3.
Give me Stallions by 7.
Birmingham by 4.
Are you just going to say 4 every single time?
Someone finally noticed.
4.
4. 9 points, you dirty whores. Anyway, Stallions by 6.
Someone finally.
Yeah, Stallions by 7.
Has he been saying 4 like the past 2 weeks?
If he has, I need to go back and watch.
It's,
See if
I haven't going back. You said Birmingham by 7?
Yes.
All right, and then finally at 3 p.m. Eastern on May 11th, Sunday, Mother's Day, St. Louis and Memphis will square off in Memphis. I think, like this is tough because it's the Battlehawks, but with Max Duggan now, and the Showboats have win, but at the same time it's still the Showboats, so it's just like, I'm gonna take the Battlehawks still in this one. It'll be by 2, in my opinion. It's gonna be a close game.
Give me the Fat Cocks by 7.
Well, it was bound to happen sooner or later.
Yep.
Say it sooner or later.
Memphis by 4.
Oh,
I don't know. I'm actually thinking of an upset for this week.
Mother's Day Miracle.
Mother's Day Miracle.
You know what?
The Music City Miracle. The Mother's Day. Oh, it's gonna be. Oh, I can see the headlines. Oh no.
St. Louis by 4.
Give me
Let's join the 4 boat.
Give me the big throbbing Battlehawks by 13.
Oh wow. All right, bit of a plot. All right.
Why is a Battlehawk big and why is it throbbing?
Don't answer that. Next
stop.
question. All right. I'm just here so I don't get
Next
fined.
question.
Anyway,
the tier list is here.
yes, the tier list, ladies and
Is
gentlemen.
it big and is it throbbing?
Oh my god!
No,
Is it like Maston's favorite Bad Dragons?
No.
What?
No.
Mumbo, whoa, pause.
Yeah, what?
No,
I'm just gonna
these
go what
are-
he said, but that was
No.
crazy.
Now, I'm gonna say these are the favorite to learn about. Favorite, like history wise, like we're all dudes. We all, every guy in his life at some point is like, oh, I'm interested in tanks. I'm interested in this. What are your favorite wars, like for documentaries, for reading books about, for going to museums about? What are the favorite ones you like to learn about? All right,
You're missing one thing though: the war on drugs.
that was
Bruh.
kind of the Cold War.
Yeah, that is fair.
So this
dude,
is the
Where's
American involved.
Where's Desert Storm, bro?
The Iraq, whatever. The this is wars you enjoy learning about. Okay, so museums, documentaries, videos, whatever. Because we're all history nerds to a certain degree here. So
See, so I can see. 1812. I'll go.
It's meh.
There is some interesting stuff. There is just basically it was just it was since it was during Napoleonic. It's a small skirmish, and it was mainly like U.S. just saying, "Hey, stop press." Was it press ganging? I think that's what the term is.
Yeah.
Or like
some old
merchant sailors into your navy type of deal.
Yeah,
That's basically what happened.
And then the White House got set on fire. And, yeah,
I'd say B.
it ended in a draw.
okay. Iraq War, really recent.
D.
Do you include Desert Storm in this?
D for Dick Cheney. The American Civil War.
A, when you go with the technology stuff and how some tactics were kind of being different of, especially the cavalry being used.
That is like the best thing to research for Civil War, the cavalry.
Oh, and also the accessibility for so many different aspects of the Civil War, to be able to see museums, reenactments, there's a lot. All right, Cold War.
D. I think if you want to go a C, as in Charlie, C. If you want to learn a lot espionage stuff, Cold War is actually one of the big areas.
It's also kind of rough because it's like the Cold War also has like the Korean War and Vietnam. Yeah, it's hard to separate them because it's all like
the Cold War itself was basically just two powers like swinging their dicks around, like are we going to use our nukes or not?
Yeah.
But it's easier to split Cold War up from those two wars because Korean War, Vietnam War is like actual fighting, whereas Cold War is kind of like they said espionage.
Yeah, proxy
like
wars, a lot of others too. All right, Gulf War.
B.
The B?
C.
C.
Oh,
Okay.
C.
Well, I should go Alpha Bravo Charlie Delta to make it easier.
All right. Then the Korean War.
Oh, I have a bias for this one.
I would say Bravo because
Why do you have a bias for? Oh wait, I remember.
The USS Wisconsin, baby, to lead at a hill. I want that artillery battery to disappear.
the U.S.-Mexican War.
This was like the prequel to the Civil War because you had like all of the generals like starting out, like Grant, Lee, Sherman, Meade, McClellan.
Kind of. Delta, just because I haven't really gone that much and like reading up on it.
There is a
Spanish-American
cool.
Wars.
I think Epic History did a series in the Mexican War. It was like 3 videos. Pretty cool.
I think I remember seeing some stuff.
I prefer researching the Spanish American than
That's
the
Revolutionary
American
War.
Revolution. This is George Washington crossing the Delaware.
I can't get Shane Gillis out of my head whenever I hear George Washington now.
Slightly controversial, but for good reason. I'm kind of ambivalent about it, mainly because growing up in New England, I'm literally around like every fucking thing that has to do with historical stuff with the Revolutionary. Like Paul Revere's house, the Boston Tea Party Museum, and my aunt's, like the hotel my aunt works at, you can literally see the USS Constitution. Well, that's War of 1812, but you can see like a Revolutionary War era ship like was massed from her front door.
I would say Alpha because being near Newport News and my dad stationed in Yorktown for Coast Guard, you got some historical stuff that was interesting.
Oh, that's interesting.
Interesting.
70 Years War.
This is also the French and Indian War. So it's kind of rough because this is only the American side of it, even though the European side of it was like really crazy. But the American side of it, the French and Indian War.
Yeah.
A lot of people kind of
Washington.
A lot of people kind of consider 70 Years War kind of like a pre-World War I type of deal because you had stuff happening in India.
Yeah,
with the French and the British was actually fighting in India also. Then you had the Prussians helping the British during in Europe. It's Charlie, just because I haven't really gone that much deep into it.
I haven't researched it since high school, if I'm going to be honest.
All right.
Keep forgetting
the
Theodore
Roosevelt side quest.
See, it's funny. The Mexican-American War, I haven't researched much, but I've researched a shit ton on the Spanish-American War, and I find that more enjoyable.
Bravo. I'd say this. My alma mater has the first Medal of Honor recipient of my alma mater for college. First earned the Medal of Honor during the Spanish-American War.
San Juan Hill.
No, I can't remember what it was, which battle exactly. But it was one of 2 brothers that received the Medal of Honor.
Okay.
The only set of brothers.
Before we start listing for Vietnam, are we including like Mac v. SOG stuff too for Vietnam? Because I feel like that's going to change answers.
Also,
I thought you were going to start saying like, should we start playing Fortunate Son?
Yeah,
we didn't have soldiers in Laos and Cambodia, but we did.
All right, take the tinfoil hat off. Anyway,
somebody played too much Black Ops.
But anyway, the war with the best soundtrack.
Roy Benavidez, dude.
Carly.
Oh.
What?
That's that's rough. Oh, that's rough.
It's my grandfather had to deal with some shit. He kind of told some stories. So
fair.
Rough,
I've heard a couple stories too. It sounds like a fucking nightmare.
My neighbor's granddad, is a Purple Heart recipient from a Punjai trap.
I knew a guy.
I still remember that story. That was.
I knew a guy who was.
I will say this: was it one thing? If I remember right, from my mom, I had it was one of her uncles. He was in World War II, Korean, and Vietnam. He was supposed to be an electronic technician, and just because he was able to fix stuff so well, like he had to be there to help fix.
I have a friend who. Somebody on the other side of this. I have a friend who he literally would not be existing, and his family would not be in the U.S. today if they didn't escape from Hanoi before it fell. So,
yeah.
Let's see, War II, there's just a lot of stuff. I think some people can go. I'll say alpha.
Whoa!
Like,
All right.
there could be.
I
there could be some
agree
interesting
with
stuff,
them.
but
I
because
agree with them.
there's so much of it, is like there's other stuff in the way. It's historical. So World War One, I'll put it Sierra, because there is
S tier.
Sierra.
Just the tactics not fitting the modern equipment. Just researching that alone is so interesting.
Yeah, like the Battle of the Somme, where like entire villages worth of British men were killed in minutes. It's just like, oh,
Germans are okay with gas, but if someone comes in with a shotgun, God forbid.
Well,
Canadians throw food and then follow it up with grenades.
Did you guys also feel like when, like, I don't know if Gorlami remembers this because he was probably in diapers, but like when Battlefield 1 came out, I feel like the allure to like researching World War 1 stuff just like kind of like
a little bit.
I mean, a little bit. There's a bunch been like a bunch of like horde games that are like sort of like also took like the World War 1 aesthetic. I know that came out a lot based on
like
that too.
What is it?
But also like hammer home.
There's like an SCP about it too.
Just like there's just like hammers home like all like the most horrific parts about that war.
Yeah, they remade also
All Quiet on the Western Front.
All Quiet on the Western Front. They remade that recently.
So good.
That was a really good one.
Yeah.
Well, what makes it kind of interesting with World War One also some stuff before you had the with the colonization of Africa from the European powers, how Africa was affected during World War One. There was actually not that much trench fighting. Actually,
no, but there was still fighting. Yeah, like Paul Von
there was still fighting
in the forests in Africa.
And then you had the
Lawrence of Arabia,
the Gallipoli campaign.
That's Middle East for Lawrence of Arabia.
Yeah, but you still had different parts.
And then
I'm saying for Africa, Asia a little. It was mainly Japan actually taking some of the German territories.
Yeah, they took Qingdao from Germany. They took East Brunei.
What was the one battle where like both sides used a shit ton of dreadnoughts and then like never used them again? Which battle was that? I forget.
Oh, it was off the coast of Denmark. I thought.
Yeah,
forgot to.
And it was like both sides claiming it as a victory, but
and then you had some stuff I was saying before World War One. You had the Boer War, or between like the Dutch settlers in Africa against the British Empire. You had the Russo-Japanese War.
Yeah, well, Jabs was the fucking shit show for Russia.
What year was the Boxer Rebellion again?
For both. That was late 19th century. That was like 1880s.
Okay.
But I'm saying like that baffling, like I just remember like that baffling video about the Russian fleet that sailed all the way around the world just to get utterly destroyed.
Yeah.
Well, both sides were incompetent. It's not like it's just Japan was just incompetent a little less during the Russo-Japanese War.
Their logistics also helped because Japan's right there, while the majority of Russian manufacturing and manpower is over there.
Well, they didn't
really suited to sail through the icy waters by just going north around themselves to.
Yeah, that's one reason. One part reason the Russo-Japanese War is that Russia was trying to have a warm water port.
Yeah, Vladivostok. All right, but yeah, anyway, that was the tier list for this week. This one was a lot better. Macedon knew about these things, so there we go. But this is your favorite
because he's old.
He experienced all of them.
Interesting opinions.
Yeah. Anyway,
we'll go back to some mundane stuff like your favorite number from 1 through 10 next week.
That'd be so fun. I gotta start finding just like asinine ones. But again, I thought this one was pretty interesting. Yeah. Favorite
numbers 1 through 10. 4 is going to be number 1 for him.
Yeah.
Your favorite items on the McDonald's dollar menu.
I think we did fast food. We did fast food once.
We did actually,
yeah. Yeah, we've done fast food. I'm starting to run out of things to do. Like
favorite 7-Eleven slushies.
What's your favorite fallen flag railroad of the 20th century?
I legitimately think we did ice cream flavors once, and Macedon had like 4 of them, and there were like 30 of them there, and it was just like, fuck, dude.
Because some of them was like, what the fuck is this?
I mean, have you ever had like Blue Moo cookie dough before?
What's your favorite fallen flag railroad? Shout out to the Boston.
Oh, we should do Macedon's favorite states.
Macedon, what's your favorite dilly bar flavor?
What? What?
He's never had a dilly bar?
Oh,
I don't even know what that is.
What is that?
Hey, what the
Dairy
fuck is
Queen?
that?
Oh no.
Oh,
I don't really go to Dairy Queen.
I
They
have
have,
not
they
been
have,
to.
yeah, they have Dairy Queens in
I have not.
Virginia.
Yeah, no, they in North
Madison
Carolina. they do. I
is
have
that
not
old
been.
man that would be a
I have
favorite of
not-
butterscotch.
I have not been to a Dairy Queen in years, and I'm trying to lay off. Like, for the past few years, I've been laying off on fast food in general.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for watching the episode. Make sure you like and subscribe for more. Leave us a comment if you have anything you want us to address in the next episode. Make sure you enjoy the UFL. It's slowly coming to a close. We're in that final playoff stretch. We got week 7, 8, 9, and 10 left. So 4 weeks in total.
Judge Maston for his tier lists.
That was a good. That was a good. That was
this
a good.
one.
That
Not
was a
this
good.
one. Not this one. Other ones.
The fruit one was. That shit was comedic.
That was just ridiculous.
That
That
shit
got
was comedic.
off the rails real quick.
Oh, Mamba, Maston was like, I've never had a strawberry, and I sat there and I
remember.
I cried
just-
on live television.
I just don't feel like it. It's like,
On
oh,
TV?
strawberry, whatever.
But I mean,
know.
like, dude, like a good smoothie with a couple different fruit in it, you know. Oh, hits the spot. But anyway, enough about fruit and the Second World War. Thank you for watching the Football Stooges. We hope you tune in next week where we'll talk about more about the UFL as it progresses forward and as the NFL starts to wind back up slowly but surely. So enjoy the warmer weather hopefully coming your way. Enjoy some of the football. It's not going to be here forever, but enjoy it while it lasts. And most importantly,
Daily Cup playoffs.
why don't you do this one, Mamba?
Run the damn cross to the end zone. All right.
Amen.
Amen.
Good night, America.
All right, get me off this fucking podium. I hate all you. No, I'm kidding.